that it will still be third time lucky. Right, and now on YTV, with the time just coming up to 10 o'clock, we join ITA in the morning in Pennine areas. The minimum temperature will be 30.
There's just time to tell you now about a couple of programmes coming up this evening that you just can't afford to miss. At 5:15, we tell you the story all about the making of the epic feature film, The Raiders of the Lost Ark. Then at 6:45, talking of films, now here's Chris Kelly with Clapperboard. Film, we present a science fiction thriller called The Day the Earth. He believes the world is facing its greatest threat. And the film, by the way, is in black and white. Well, that brings us to the end of the Central Morning Supplement for today and also for this week. I hope you've enjoyed our programmes. Linda Cunningham will be back with you on Monday morning with a lineup which includes It's a Musical World, and the guest on Monday is Gemma Craven. There's also another case for Australian vet Peter Ramsey and some more adventure with Stingray. Those are your programmes for Monday's Central Morning Supplement. Now let's have a look at the times, and here they are.
We should at the making of Raiders of the Lost Ark, one of the most thrilling adventure.
Tonight, early morning mist will give way to a dry and mostly bright day tomorrow. Temperatures will range from -2 to +7 degrees tomorrow afternoon, and the very light winds will become moderate easterly. Well, that's it from the TVS newsroom. Don't forget to join us at 11:30 tonight when we'll have our last news bulletin. And we're now going over to ITN for the national and international news. And your reader tonight will be Trevor MacDonald.
By the world news from ITN at 6:30. And then at 20 minutes to 7, a lighter look at life through the eyes of Frank Topping, Donald Swan and Marion Davis in Sunday Best. At 7:15, Heart to Heart brings undersea adventure for Jonathan and Jennifer after a yacht is wrecked with a fortune in gold on board. Father Charlie will be trying to raise a more modest amount of money for the central heating system in the convent. He holds a summer fete at 8:15. Alan Wicker recalls people with money and power at 9 o'clock. And then the new comedy, Whoops Apocalypse, promises to break new ground for TV at 10 o'clock. And when we join Melvin Bragg in the South Bank show at 10:30, we'll be meeting Richard Alston, who's choreographer for the Ballet Rambert. Now on TVS Radio.
Evening's entertainment on TVS. Millionaire detective Jonathan and Jennifer Hart stumble upon a fortune in stolen gold hidden in the wreckage of a sunken yacht. Heart to Heart at 7:15. At 8:15, Father Charlie helps with a summer fete when the convent need money to replace a boiler.
I mean, who on earth is going to buy this? What is it?
I have no idea.
Right, mystery prize, Stombola.
In Around Wicker's World in 25 years at 9 o'clock, Alan Wicker talks to some of the most memorable millionaires he's met on his travels. A new series, Whoops Apocalypse, begins at 10 o'clock.
Left again. And do you think that the blindfold is...
I am wearing it now.
At 10 o'clock, Whoops Apocalypse chronicles the outrageous events leading up to World War III. Some of your programs for Sunday on TVS.
Good evening. Police in Kent are trying to trace the last movements of a 41-year-old man from the village of Elvington near Dover who was found dead yesterday. The body of Brian Onions was discovered in the garden of his 3-bedroomed council house in Adelaide Road at Elvington. A post-mortem has revealed that he died of gunshot wounds, but police say they won't know if he was murdered until they get the result of forensic tests. In the meantime, they're treating the death with suspicion, and they say they'd like to hear from anyone who may have heard gunshots in the area yesterday afternoon. Mr. Onions, who was unemployed, was involved in a shooting incident 2 months ago when he had hospital treatment. Police have named the woman who was killed in a head-on collision between two cars on the A23 road at Pycombe, north of Brighton. She was Mrs. Anne Richardson, aged 34, of Fairview Rise at Brighton. 5 other people were seriously injured in the crash, including her 12-year-old. Has been put at tens of thousands of pounds, but just as bad, the fire has destroyed months of original research. The universities say that most, if not all, of the experiments will have to be started again, and they've described the loss as heartbreaking. The fire broke out in the chemistry laboratory at 3:30 this morning. When firemen arrived at the scene, there were fears of the building, but after a quick search, they gave the all clear and set about containing the flames. Because of toxic fumes given off by burning chemicals, including small amounts of radioactive material, they had to wear breathing apparatus. The chemistry lab was completely destroyed by the fire, and there was extensive damage to laboratories above and below, but no one was hurt, and the laboratory animals on the top floor were also unharmed. The fire is thought to have been caused by an electrical fault. A centre for unemployed workers at Brighton has been damaged by National Front supporters. They hurled bricks and stones through windows while trade unionists and students were holding a meeting inside on Northern Ireland. No one was hurt. 6 youths who were questioned by police after the attack have now been released. Princess Anne and Captain Mark Phillips have been taking part in the annual Crookham Horse Trials at Tweedledown Racecourse near Aldershot. It was the first outing of the new season, and for Princess Anne, who rode Stevie B, one of the Queen's horses, it was good preparation for the badminton trials later this year. The Princess, one of 600 riders competing over 3 days, scored good marks in the dressage event this morning, but her husband, Captain Phillips, didn't compete in today's event. A record crowd turned out to see the royal couple at the racecourse. An idea to clear out household junk has been tried out in Southampton. The Keep Southampton Tidy group invited people to bring their junk along to the Bedford Place car park, where they could have their pick of any bargains going. The unwanted items included old televisions, washing machines and chimney pots, which amazingly enough were quickly snapped up. Everything left over was taken away by the council. The Keep Tidy group think it's a good way around the problem of council tips being closed at weekends, and they're hoping that other tidy-minded people will give the idea a go. Thousands of people lined the streets of Winchester today for the first People's Marathon to be run in the city. More than 2,000 runners took part in the 26-mile race, including visitors from Germany and America. They had to battle against strong winds, but they were given plenty of encouragement to help them along. The winner was the favourite, 38-year-old Barry Watson, who ran for Britain in the 1976 Montreal Olympics. His time, 2 hours, 22 minutes, and that was despite an injury to his right calf. The event was the brainchild of the Mayor of Winchester, Ian Bidgood, who ran a half-marathon along with his American counterpart, the Mayor of Winchester in Virginia. Peter Clark spoke to the winner, Watson, and to 20-year-old Richard Toulson, one of 2 disabled men who did the half-marathon in their wheelchairs.
How did it go, Barry?
Well, I found it very tough. I had more opposition than I thought I'd have, for one thing. Not only from the wind and the hills, but also from Alan McGee over there, who ran me hard for at least well over half the race. So I find it hard work.
Richard, how do you feel now?
Exhausted, but really grateful it's over.
Now tell me about